I'm Sam Giuliani, and this is my project on how we can change our prison system. So first I'll start with primary prevention, how we can reduce the number of individuals entering jails and prisons. My solution. I think that the best solution to this problem is to limit the court's ability to fully incarcerate people for low-level crimes. Limiting the court's power over low-level crimes is a good thing. Decriminalize simple. What do I mean by this? I mean that we simply need to limit the court's power over low-level crimes, decriminalizing simple and small possession of drugs, repealing mandatory minimum sentencing, and all this will all call for crimes that go to court to be thoroughly examined, which will allow for the proper care of each case. Why is this the best? This will keep people out of jails and help them to get into the real world. Taxpayers spend about $38.8 billion per year on the American prison system. By allowing the courts to make free decisions on low-level crimes, people can be allowed to live freer lives not in the prison system. Americans can save this money for more important things like schooling and government aid. By eliminating the need to incarcerate people for small possessions of drugs, the prisons can stay less crowded, which will ultimately benefit everybody. Finally, by limiting judges' power over small cases, the system can come to help people who are charged with civil infractions or misdemeanors instead of work against them. Relation to the Catholic Church. Jesus believed that everybody should be cared for with respect. The Church believes that all people are the people of God, whether in prison or free in society. I think that the Church would agree with my plans because it gives people more of a chance to get out of their tough situations and still be a part of society instead of marginalize them. By eliminating mandatory minimum sentencing, people can also not be as scared of simple misdemeanors or civil infractions and ultimately go on with their lives instead of being halted by the system, which in our words means forgiven for little things, which the Church believes as well. People get out of the prison system for low-level crimes. It can possibly solve some of the overpopulation problems in most prisons, which can improve the conditions on both sides of the gate. It can also be a great way for people to get the help they need instead of just going through our flawed prison system. Secondary intervention, improving prison conditions. My solution. My solution is to help prisoners who suffer from mental and physical health conditions by getting them the help they need. It is also important to protect prisoners from getting injured in their rough environments. What do I mean by this? There should be full or part-time psychiatrists on the campuses of prisons at all times, in case any prisoners need them. It is also necessary for the prisons to hire more guards to protect prisoners who are at a high risk for getting injured. Why is this the best? By hiring more security guards, prisoners can receive the protection they need from being injured by fellow inmates or through other ways. Protection is necessary for everybody, no matter what they did. Psychiatric professionals or psychiatrists are good resources for all people to use as well. Psychiatrists can be used in prisons in order for inmates to better themselves for the world once their sentence is over. If these things can be provided for the inmates, then our prison system can work better than it is currently working. About 53% of Catholics strongly agree that the American prison system should be focused more on the restoration for all parties. My plan goes along with this idea in a couple of ways. The Catholic Church also believes that people deserve all the help they need, no matter the situation or circumstances that they are in. My system focuses on improving inmates' lives within the time that they are in prison to prepare them for the outside world. It also hones in on respecting the lives of inmates through giving them proper protection and psychiatric help they could potentially need. How does this improve society? This improves society by providing low-level security guard positions for people who could use them, which keeps our economy moving at a steady pace. Psychiatrists are also necessary in our society and can help to better the lives of inmates after they get out of prison as well as while they are in prison. Eliminating the health and mental well-being problems of inmates will better our prison system and society as a whole. By bettering the prisons in these ways, inmates can become better citizens of the U.S. in and out of prisons. Tertiary intervention, improving re-entry into society. My solution. My solution is to give inmates the ability to get jobs and, in some cases, proper housing so that they can better themselves in their new situations outside of the prison system. What do I mean by this? I want to give inmates the ability to get jobs and go to job interviews. Proper housing and even government aid is also a good way to guarantee that former inmates have a smooth transition into society. Even though it can be hard to re-enter into society after prison, this system can be a step in the right direction. Why is this the best? This could be a really good solution to the problems dealt with one's re-entry into society after being in the prison system. Government aid and housing is a good idea because it gives people the freedom to go out and do other things without worrying about those types of things until they can get back on their feet. Getting the opportunity to apply for and most likely get jobs is a great tool that the system can provide for inmates in order to better their re-entry into society. Even wiping records clean can help in both of these things and can benefit people on both sides of the prison gate. Relation to the Catholic Church. The Church believes that the people who are incarcerated and unreleased deserve to be fully accepted into society. It also must be said that the Church believes that they must not be disqualified from salvation or society and be shown mercy, just like how God showed mercy to the world. By giving people jobs, society accepts and allows formerly incarcerated people to be shown the mercy that lets them re-enter into society instead of being separated from society. How does this improve society? In 2008, about 27% of formerly incarcerated people were unemployed. According to my research, more recently, this number is on a decline. We can clearly see that the growth of more programs that provides jobs for formerly incarcerated people helps to advance our societal needs and should be copied or instated into other systems of our lives. Proper housing systems and governmental aids can also help to provide people with upgraded ways to live instead of just being forced to live in the American prison system and cycle. So that was the end of my presentation. I will now take this time at the end of class for questions, but thank you for watching.